Malrine, another one of these heroes that he has leveled up to Grandmaster. So, are there any heroes that Malrine doesn't have Grandmaster? That's probably the better question.
Well, yeah, but when I loaded in, it was a Grandmaster, and unfortunately for Snaking, he is not the master of his own destiny because he will lose his life as quickly as he gained it. And yeah, like I tabbed into Dota, and I was like, oh boy, that's another Grandmaster tier. It's like, do you ever not play these mid heroes, Malrine? Like, wait, how big is this hero pool? Is it a hero ocean?
Man plays a lot of Dots.
Man does play a lot of Dots.
Seconds to battle.
He's not like me with my 1400 Wyvern games or whatever it is.
I mean, unfortunately, not like everybody else. They are not hero spammers. I mean, I'm a hero spammer, but I also don't have like 1,000 games of Wraith King. I only have like 250.
I actually got it wrong. It's 1600 Wyvern games.
Oh my god, you disgusting animal. Stop.
I was
Get
wrong.
some help.
I was wrong by the amount of Wraith King games that you played.
Yeah. I mean, I like spreading my love across my Dota heroes. I like the idea of having everybody like a minimum silver. I think that's like one of my, I don't want to say achievements, but it definitely feels good being able to have the all chatting voice lines with Dota Plus, not being able to like you load up here and it's like, ah shit, I'm bronze, and then it's like you just have the laugh emote and you're like, nobody can hear that except for my teammates.
That's when you just buy your good friend Danog's voice line and then you spam that one.
True, or I could buy my own voice line, Danog.
You could.
Yeah.
Can you still do that?
I don't know if you can. Either way, buy Danog's voice line. I don't know, you can't do that anymore, but
No, you can't.
well, don't do that. Buy our stickers. Buy both of our stickers. How about that?
Sure.
They're on the Steam market. Do that.
I'll do it. Cuckoo did me a solid. He bought mine on his stream to like 8,000 people. Good man.
Damn. That's based. Good God.
I think these lanes are... No, I don't want to say they're going to be a bit of a snooze fest, but up until, you know, that 6-minute mark, that's when things are really going to start kicking off. You know, rotating around the power runes, making sure that you're playing around that first siege creep wave. That's going to be the biggest deal that they're having to worry about for both sides.
Yeah, I think that's the big thing, right? It really does feel like the first couple of minutes are going to be very important for everyone. So we'll see how these side lane rotations do work out. We'll see who's going to make the rotations first. Looks like early on here, Malik's going to go forward onto Skidder. They get the extra sun there with the Inkswell and Omar. Stroke of fate. So see you later to the Spectre. So that's a nice little addition for them to be able to have there.
I do like the fact that Omar has gone and blocked up his own hard camp as well, making sure that Snaking isn't able to get another one of those annoying mana burn creeps to be able to just keep in that lane, not just for, of course, the mana burn, but also the mana regeneration to enable Skidder to get a lot of these dagger spams off whenever it's off cooldown. He'll still be playing with a Hill Troll Priest, so not the worst, but certainly could be a lot more annoying if you wanted to be.
Yeah, could be the what's the ghost lady called?
Just Ghost.
She's a ghost, yeah. That's the annoying one. Too much from a little creepy. Speaking of too much, Noob, getting a lot out of this mid lane. 9 and 6 versus the 7 and 4 of Malrine. Obviously, there's going to be a little bit more emphasis on the later levels to be able to take down the Earthshaker, but I think Noob's been doing a fantastic job in this mid lane to be able to mitigate the damage that this Batrider is doing to him.
Also like the fact that Malik is just going for this first item Vanguard. No boots, no bracer, nothing like that. Just straight into the Vanguard, making sure that even, again, if Omar is forced to make that rotation towards the mid lane, that Malik is probably going to be fine. Like, Enchantress, yes, scary in the laning stage, not so much the Spectre.
Yeah, that's true. It is kind of like the weak with the strong for the first couple of minutes. I mean, once Malik does, I was going to say, pick up the Vanguard, he's not going to be worried about either of them, and he's already picked it up early on here, and now it means that this is going to be a bit of a rough lane. And we've seen over the multiple games that we've covered of Team Falcons so far, I think the one fact that I've been seeing quite a lot is they do kind of leave Skitter on an island, and Omar, he's been left alone, but he does a lot of damage back towards Kaori. He'd already popped the stick as well, so that extra bit of damage from Omar. He's able to get the kill there on Kaori. But back to my point, they have left Skitter on an island for a decent amount of these games, especially early on. So, probably not what you want to do with the Spectre this game.
But this is the time that you can potentially look to make one of those rotations, right? Like, Malik has a very juicy creep wave that he has the potential to just drag right next to the tower. Even just making sure that it's as close as possible as they actually get a return kill on the bottom side with TA2000 and Kaori just TPing in, getting that bonus damage again, 36 bonus damage from level 1 teleport. It's kind of stupid, but you know what? They keep letting them pick it.
Yep, they just allowed this Nature's Prophet to be able to be picked on the field, and he just kind of walks in and does the whatever he would like when it comes to roaming around the map. I mean, I guess the same is kind of true for a Spearbreaker, right? Like, the fact that he does a billion damage at, like, level 9 is kind of annoying. I guess Nature just does it from level 1. And Omar makes a rotation towards the bottom side here. Nice little charge there going to TA2000. They don't have the extra bit of HP to try and keep this Luna alive, but maybe they can turn it back around and get some of these kills. But Omar doesn't have the damage on the Grimstroke, and Amar will be able to take him down with a triple ring strat. Says, see you later, and thanks for the extra kill.
Even gets the courier on the way out as well, so nicely done there.
Radiant's middle tower
The Falcons to be able to give him a little bit of a rougher start here on TA2000. He's got a bunch of denies off in that lane, but certainly in terms of net worth, it is still the Bristleback being in the lead.
Yeah, Bristle's definitely having a very fun time so far.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
So, we will continue this game as we have been with the offlaners kind of doing their own things, really being able to take over a lot of these safe laners.
Snakin's doing a great job in mid, by the way. Just making sure he had the Mud Golem creep there just for the maximum amount of tower tankability. Then as soon as the next creep wave arrived, he made it sure to enchant one of those creeps, just one fewer creep to be able to have to kill. And look at what it means for the tier 1 tower, right? Just with that 5-minute siege creep, it's already down to about a third HP. So this is all on the back of just one position 5 making that rotation. Nicely done by Snake.
Yeah, and he even did it in game number 1 as well, right? Just put a lot of pressure on these tier 1 towers. So means it can unlock Malrine nice and early. You see a charge towards the bottom side as TA2000. That's a lot of damage already. 3 goose stacks, but they will get the Inkswell. That extra bit of move speed for TA2000 buys him the space that he needs to get away.
He's also got the full power treads coming through to him as well, so should be able to build up some of his own stacks to start getting closer and closer towards that that Morbid Mask for himself, so that he can just stick in the jungle, farm, and you know that with a Nature's Prophet, you've got plenty of heroes that are able to take farm across the map and in the lane.
Plenty of times for them to be able to get the farm, and plenty of times for them to try and dive out onto Skitter with the Inkswell. That's enough damage for Malik to claim another kill. 2 levels in the double edge, so he's looking to try and get that magic damage abuse going in. And speaking of abuse, it's Noob that's copying it in this mid lane. Nice TP rotation here from Kaori to just kind of cut that off. They almost got the kill back onto Marlene. And will at least alleviate the pressure onto their Earthshaker. Was that an Echo Slam? Yeah, that was an Echo Slam, so Malrine almost goes down on the Batrider on into tier 1.
You know what? Sometimes it's worth popping the. Yeah, he's going to be able to yoink this one away. Looks like he will.
Oh, that's so sad.
Once again, unfortunately. So we'll need to wait around until that charge comes off cooldown, or who knows? Maybe he just walks underneath a tier 2. Maybe he didn't.
Yeah, he's just playing around. He's just goofing and gaffing a little bit. Him and Omar are just going to, trade some blows. Crit may lose his life for this, but he always does have the charge. Now,
or does he?
Phantom's Embrace is here. He should be able to chase him down. Okay, Omar just gets a kill. So a little bit of extra gold going the way of the Grimstroke. It's nothing to scoff at.
He got the wisdom, it's fine.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
What I said, Noob has done a fantastic job in this mid lane. He's, what, 800 net worth ahead of the Batrider at this point. Plenty more denies, up to 22 relative to the 10 for the Batrider. That's a little expected, right? Earthshaker, just insane amount of right-click damage versus a Batrider who barely has anything. But Well, still, just in terms of his ability to manipulate it so that he's not losing his own life, he's not losing his tower. Snaking did a good job, but wasn't enough to be able to really open up this map for the Batrider to be able to make plays.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? It's he not only survived against the Batrider, but he also kept the Batrider here because he kept his tower alive. So Malrine isn't able to then put that pressure back on a TA2000, who's now had a little bit of pressure alleviated from him on the Luna. We'll have this full Mask Commanders coming out to him now, and Amar is just going to be sniffing towards the bottom side with the well wishes. Where he wants
caught
to
out here by a sticky nade farm. Once again,
Stampede,
just
though.
perfect use of the Stampede by Malrine. Sorry, by Malik.
So they do at least haunt back up towards the top side of the map. They were charging through on crit, but he did not want to try and complete it because Noob does have that Echo Slam at the ready. A dive. He's starting to get set up here from Malrine. He does have the shield rune, so it's going to be very hard for them to try and catch out this Batrider, especially with the Firefly completely nullifying what the Nature's Prophet wants to do. Nobody's gone down in the last couple of minutes as well. It seems like there was just a few fights that were going kind of back and forth. And now everybody's trying to be very trepidatious about where they are moving around the map, making sure that they're not giving away all too much, especially if you're Team Falcons, right? You know, if you start overextending a little bit too much, this game can really start to pull out of control if your Batrider just isn't able to get these pickoffs. But Amar is having a fantastic time in this bottom lane. And speaking of Amar, they go towards the bottom side. They Echo Slam him out. They get the Inkswell. They get the stun with the extra fissure as well. Amar, he's walking away. He's doing a lot of damage here with the Quill Spray, but it's not going to be enough. They take down the pesky Bristleback, and they take a lot of gold out of his pockets as well.
This is with a lot of protection being given over to that sort of area as well, right? In order to make that happen, they needed to use the TPs, both with the Nature's Prophet ability, as well as Shaker just TPing down inside the tree line. But in terms of the vision that Falcons have committed inside of the Radiant jungle, like, look at the coverage, right? They have one in the lane, they have one in the jungle, they have one covering the power rune, as well as any other sorts of rotations, so they know if there's any sort of just straight-up movement towards the bottom side, but TP gets around all of that.
Yeah, it was in a kind of the best position as well. And speaking of a lot of this movement, Malik goes in, stampedes away. He's just got a Reaver. Malik is such a Reaver enjoyer. He is a man after my own heart. He just went Vanguard Reaver.
Why not?
That's like the most Giga Chad move.
Yeah, Retaliate, Double Edge, they're both based off of your strength, right? So you may as well just rush it.
That's so based. He has no armor, but building into the phase boots next is, you know, it's just going to be a luxury at that point. So we're at a point now where heroes are starting to get tanky. The game is starting to fall back to an even state of farming. The Luna once again will be able to just continue to farm up, whereas Skidder has that Blade Mail available, so can get into these fights and build towards that Radiance, and that's when things start to get a little spicy, because these heroes do scale really well for the side of Team Falcons. But where do the connections come from, though, Matt? That's the question. They've got the bit of travel up now on Malrine. Snaking looks like he's trying to find TA2000.
No Urn on Skidder either, so it's not like they're going to be scaling off the back of that. I don't think anyone has an Urn right now as they make a bit of a dive here onto TA2000 on the bottom side, and that's where the movement is going to be coming from. The Blade Mail, I mean, not even needed by Skidder to be able to get the killing blow on TA2000 at the very end there. But I'm a little worried if no one is going to be going down this route of, you know, an Urn eventually into that Spirit Vessel, because again, you're going up against Malik, the Reaver Enjoyer. Something is going to need to do some percentage damage against him.
Yeah, and we'll see where it will come from, but you can see how powerful the Stampede has been. He has a heart at 12 minutes.
Well, isn't that nice?
He just went straight heart.
Dire's top tower has fallen.
That's extremely pog. You love seeing people be able to rush these late game items early on. 7.2k net worth for the Centaur. That has to be a record, right? 12-minute heart.
Probably, yeah. I mean, it's still like a 2 armor Centaur, so he has to be a little bit careful with exactly how deep he's diving.
Yeah, but I mean, at 13 minutes into the game, having 2600 HP, he has double the HP of a Batrider. Like, you probably take that, even if you are only a 2 armor hero. Like Batrider, what? He's got 7 armor, so it's not that much difference.
And I don't think you're really worried about Batrider right clicks, at least for this very early stage.
True. Very, very true. All it will take is a little bit of this extra time, and Malik will then have probably phase. And as you said, Echo Salami and Noob will say thank you to that. So Blink Heart available at 13 minutes for the side of PSG Quest. They are hitting these item timings at the perfect times here, Matt.
I
And
love
they're
that
starting
they're
to
just
take
saying,
control of
look,
the
just
game.
play around Malik. Play around their Centaur.
Yeah.
Like, what are they going to do? Kill him? No. We're just going to use him to be able to take out all of these tier 1 towers. What are they going to do about it? They don't
Look
have
how little damage snaking does.
Yep.
I mean, to be
They
fair,
don't
it is
have
only
a
level
Spirit
1
Breaker.
impetus.
They don't have a Bat Rider to be able to punish this. Just rally behind me, boys.
Especially with the Blink Dagger up now onto Noob as well. They are just sitting behind this Centaur Wall Runner. Doing a lot of damage to the tier 1 tower. They've already taken quite a lot of this space on the top side of the map. TA2000, I'd imagine, is probably just going to sit back and farm until he really kind of needs to be a part of this game, right? You know, if he can farm BKB as well as Manta, well, they're still getting these kills across the map. Team Falcon are going to be put further and further behind.
By the time he takes this this Ancient Stack, another one will have spawned, so doesn't even need to reveal himself out on the map all too often. And you know that this is what you're afraid of, right? Showing on lanes. How many times have we seen, like, a Spectre, a mid laner with Boots of Travel, and something like a Spirit Breaker or a Nature's Prophet just be able to instantly rotate and kill whatever hero shows on the lane? Well, the best answer to that is, don't show on the lane. Looks like Carry didn't get the memo. At least he knows that they've got vision up there now. But yeah, the only one basically showing on lane right now is Malik, right? Because again, what are they going to do? They're not going to be able to kill him.
Yeah, and that's just a nice little lesson to the ladies and gentlemen out there in the Dota sphere. If you're watching, don't show on lanes if you can easily get killed. You know, it's especially if you're a position 1 carry. If you don't feel safe, you don't have to show yourself. But there's offlane brothers out there. It is time for us to rise up and carry these position 1 little crybabies to a victory by just being the Giga Chads on the lane. Much like Malik. Just build a heart first, Forehead. It's easy.
Didn't even go the phase boots. He's like, you know what? I'm rushing the plate mail instead.
To me, looking at this would look like a Siractions like Centaur guide. That's what it looks like to me. Rush hard into plate mail. How do you die? HP and armor. And unfortunately for Mr. Malrine, he would like to hear those tips about how not to die because he's died again on the Bat Rider. 0, 2, and 2 hasn't been able to connect much. Yes, he's got the bits of travel, but they just haven't been able to get these kills. They're looking towards TA2000. A lot of damage comes in thanks to the Blade Mail, so this is a rotation they want to try and get a workout here for Quest. They come in, blink in as well onto Noob. They want to try and deal the damage here to Amar. How much damage can they do? It's very hard for them to take down this pesky little Enchantress Malik. Very, very tanky with his heart as well as the plate mail, but they want to leave this Bristleback alone.
They nearly got that Ogre Bruiser, Ogre Smash, what is it, 2.4 seconds charge up, and, well, it does deal percent damage, so against the Centaur it feels kind of okay, but so hard to be able to actually get that one off there. I like the adjustment, though, from Falcons, right? They know that, you know what, this Luna is literally never showing in lane. She has to be farming in where she feels safest, and that's either very left-hand side of the map or very bottom of the map. And so they make the rotation, they get the kill, and they get away without giving up any heroes in return.
Yeah, I think that's the big thing, is they get away scot-free. If they'd lost maybe 1 or 2 heroes there, you might start, you know, scrunching your nose up a little bit at it, but Team Falcon did a really, really good job at being able to keep themselves away, keep themselves out of harm's way. So, again, very, very slow affair. And speaking of slow affairs, fortunately for Kaori, he's trying to speed the game up by getting some vision down, but he gets caught out and he gets killed for the first time.
He knows
by
they've got vision at least.
Malrine.
Like, yeah. You know that the enemy team only has a finite number of observer wards, right? They know they've got one there on the Twin Gate. They know they've got one on the high ground next to the top tier 2 tower. So that does give a lot of information and space for TA2000 to be able to say, you know what, they probably don't have one, for example, on the high ground to the left-hand side of the tier 1 of our tier 1 tower top, right? I can stay here in this area. I can safely farm. I can maybe even go beyond the tier 1 tower and be able to take up a couple of these extra camps on the Falcons side of the map. You never know.
And that just means that it's all about farming efficiency for TA2000. Going to be moving in towards the Aghanim Shard. They did get a kill there on the crit on the top side, and Kaori again just being deep in enemy territory. Just trying to get some information, just trying to get some vision down, seeing if the damage they can get done onto the snaking, but that was a nice little use of the Tumbler's
Still has
Toy
the
to be able to
haste
get
rune.
away. They don't have the damage, but the rend will be enough to be able to take down the Enchantress.
What
That
did...
was-
I mean, when Enchantress got that haste rune, it sounded like she said feet. I was like, what? Maybe it was fleet feet or something like that. Which
I'd imagine it says Fleet Feet.
I don't know, man. It was a little sus.
That's some Rule 34 stuff. Enchantress, Feet,
Bruh.
Haste Rune.
No, none of that.
It's out there, man. It's out there.
Wait, what's Rule 35? No idea.
I don't know. Google it.
don't Google it. Don't Google it.
Please don't chat. I know you guys are gonna do it. Please don't. I do not want to be responsible.
All
right.
Side noob showing in the lane once more.
They know he doesn't have Echo Slam as well, so they're going to try and TP away here, but they do see that Malrine is in the area. Firefly is enough, but the Stampede's such a strong ability, so they will get their mid laner away. Crit? Is he going to commit for this? Malik is in the area, same with TA2000. Crit on a completely different page. I'd say he's in a completely different book. At that point, he was that far away from his team. I thought he was going to cancel the charge, but maybe he just didn't get the orders.
Yeah, I suppose they were all in on to just taking out that Nature's Prophet. Cowrie ends up using up the lasso as well from Malrine, so he's going to be happy enough to be able to at least be part of a kill. Just his fourth kill involvement of this 20-minute game so far, but yeah, no, certainly not wanting to use too many of those flaming lassos onto just a support.
Oh, Noob's in trouble. They need the damage, and they get it done there thanks to an impetus shot. So Skidder, with his freshly picked up Radiance, is now able to deal the damage, and it seems like this has been the go button for Team Falcons. Omar is the next one on the chopping block, and Ags picked up as well for Amar. And that will just be another kill that they get. It was a support and a mid laner, so very, very happy for Team Falcons.
Yeah, absolutely, and maybe it's even around that Siege Creep timing, right? You've got a nice little group of heroes that you could potentially look to play around this bottom side with 15 seconds away from the Shadow Step on Skidder, so he doesn't even necessarily need to be involved in hitting the tower itself. He can just instantly join in any time that he wants to.
Yep, you can just sit back, you can hit the creeps, you can farm up with his Radiance, and as soon as they need this global presence from the Spectre, he presses the button and he goes. So we'll see what Quest are going to be able to do here, because I feel like this lead is starting to slip out of their hands. They've hit some big item timings for their cores, right, for Team Falcon. They've got the Aghanim Scepter now on Amar. They've got the Radiance up onto the Spectre. She's getting close. She's finished that Yasha up, so she's going to start becoming a threat really, really soon. And Amar just walks in, simply takes the Tormentor. They get the Planar Pocket to crit, so that's going to be nice for him.
And what just happened, though? I swear, like, prior to that Tormentor being taken, Falcons had a 2k net worth lead, and then it instantly shrunk to being in Quest's favor. Was there some giga stack or something like that? I mean, Malik is still clearly keeping himself well ahead in terms of net worth, but TA2000 doing it as well. Has he almost got a butterfly completed too?
Yeah, he does. Yeah, he was very, very close. He just needs the Eagle Song to finish it off. So another 300 gold, and he'll have a butterfly. So he's a big boy. They haven't really been able to scorch ahead just yet when it comes to the net worth. So we will see how these next couple of engagements go, right? Because it feels like both teams are just like, all right, we're going to hit creeps until we feel like we've hit critical mass, and then we're going to start banging heads together and see who comes out on top, and that's going to determine how this game's going to go.
A real humongous item timing's been a shield rune.
So we're going to go forward. Going on to Amar is a bit rough, and Omar's in the back. The Soulbind goes down there, so they will at least keep Skidder as well as Malrine together. They found out Noob. Oh, the Echo Slam just wasn't there in time to be able to get the cancel on the charge, and Crit will be able to stay on top of the Earthshaker. And they lose two big heroes for the side of Quest, so that was a fight that they wanted to take for the side of Team Falcons.
Not even the greatest amount of overall damage, right? Most of it was on the Bat Rider, getting that charge through, of course, on Crit. Already level 13 as well, so he's doing A-okay in terms of his level scaling on this Spirit Breaker, almost ahead of Noob, the enemy mid. So, yeah, doing a good job so far on Falcons to be able to at least bring us to a potential fourth game, but it still, at the end of the day, is only a 1k net worth lead. It's going to go their way.
Yep, so they get the Aegis of the Immortal now into the pocket of Amar. And Seems like the shoe's on the other foot here in this game number 2. The question is for Quest is they hold all this net worth at the start, but they just weren't able to connect on a lot of these heroes to be able to get a lot of these key kills. They weren't able to get kills on Omar, they weren't able to get kills on the Skidder. And now these two heroes are starting to ball out of control. Bloodstone finally completed here for the Bristleback as well. So what do they have in the way of, regen mitigation? They don't really have anything. There's no Spirit Vessel, there's no real other percent-based damages for them to try and take down this Bristleback. And can they kill everybody else before Amar kills them?
Wouldn't hate a Shiva's Guard or something like that if Malik wanted to pick that up, just to be able to have that little bit of regen reduction coming through their way. Feels like it did synergize fairly well with probably the biggest weakness that a Centaur has in just surviving through right clicks and honestly even just the bristle, right? Quill Spray, physical damage still. But this is what we were wanting, right? Look at the net worth charts. Top of the Dire net worth, it's Amar, playing on one of these truly scaling cores. He's probably, if you had a look at it, he would be #1 in terms of damage dealt so far this game. And this is really where I feel like they have the greatest potential for success if they just set up Amar to effectively be, a secondary core. If it means sacrificing Malreen's game a little bit, so be it. Because, that... from the offlane, it feels like you can be so much more effective than from the mid these days.
Yeah, it definitely does feel like that's just the way that these lanes do work out. Skidder, though, wants to go in and see if he can get Omar, but isn't able to connect on the extra damage needed to take down the Grimstroke. So they get the Stampede out, at least from Malik, so maybe they want to try and get a fight going their way for Team Falcons.
They get a tier 2 as well, or at least they will very shortly. With Amar positioning himself with this Aegis behind the tier 2 tower. Down bottom.
Yep, he claims that kill, and they claim crit in the top lane. There was an Echo
wasn't
Slam
really out of
being used
position
as well.
He was next to a tier 2 tower, so you can't really fault crit all that much. And like you mentioned, popping the Echo Slam forward as well.
Yeah, seems like they're just using quite a lot to try and get the kill there on the crit. Omar goes forward, and unfortunately he gets caught out. The Soulbind will go down there. At least will avoid the stun, and now Skidder comes in. That is a kill onto the Grimstroke. And everybody else just has to disengage. At what point does the Luna feel like that she can actually fight? I feel like there's seen so many games across this MENA qualifier where it feels like these carry players just get to the point where they're just farming creeps, and then something happens where it's like an offlaner or a mid laner really just starts to ball out of control, then the safe laner is just permanently in I'm farming another item syndrome. And it never feels like they're ever able to come online. Kaori wants to try and hit some creeps for himself. He will get lassoed up and get killed as well here on the Nature's Prophet.
Yeah, I kind of feel like it's not necessarily on TA 2000 just yet, because I still feel like they do need that Silver Edge carrier, right? Like he's, of course, got the... Well, he had the Satanic queued up, but now he's got the Silver Edge as the only item. And I feel like that kind of is the go time coming through from them, right? You've got the Bristleback, you've got the Snaking kill potentially as well. That feels nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, like Bristle, Spectre, they need to be dealt with. The person that I'm honestly looking at for the next little bit, he hasn't died a single time, but only 2-0 and 5 on Malik so far. I really feel like he needs to be the one kind of setting the pace, playing a lot more aggressively.
That's what he's doing right now. They're getting very aggressive here on the Skidder. Do they have the damage? The auto attacks are there in time. They take down the Spectre. Finally, they're getting on the aggressive here for Quest. They want to kill Crit. They do get it done, but now with Amar, with this Aegis, it's a very scary Bristleback. They need to try and leave him be. He's going to come forward on a
Malik's
TH2000.
just such a great bodyguard as well, right? Like you've just got that stun on a relatively low cooldown. You've got the Stampede, like we just saw, to be able to slightly reposition themselves. And again, like what happens? What's the worst that happens? If you go in, they may be able to have a few people there to be able to start to turn things around onto you, but it's going to take so long for them to be able to actually kill you.
Yeah, and you can see now already, even with the Bristleback here, it is very hard for them to try and take down this Centaur. He just pops the Lotus Orb and goes in towards the base. So Malik will live, gets away from Amar, who only has 20
you
seconds
just see
left
how
on his
much more
Aegis.
effective that is, right? Like it just feels so much stronger, that sort of attempt.
Oh, just feels so bad to be Omar like this game. Like same with Kaori, right? It's just like you show for half a second, Bristleback is close to you, and Skidder just TPs on you, and you're just dead, right? Like,
and Malreen's got bots as well.
Yeah,
and crit charges you. So it's like, yeah.
where
not an
you're supposed
enviable
to be,
game.
right? Like where
Pretty much. Like you need to be as far away from objectives as possible, so that like where Kaori is now is really good, right? Like he's not necessarily protecting too much, but at least he's going to force people to back up and not take objectives on your end by being up on this side of the map. You can see he instantly gets pinged out as soon as he puts that sprout down into the lane, but he's done his job in cutting the wave, right? And if they are going to commit onto him, it's just a position 5. Your cores are going to be farming. You're going to have your Silver Edge very shortly on TA2000. So this is the sort of gameplay that I like. You know, just understanding and using your head rather than just going for some cookie cutter, oh, I'll just farm here sort of strat.
Yeah. And he finishes up the Aghanim Scepter as well to boot. So you can have that little bit of extra control in these fights, a little bit of extra damage. So
Silver
we'll
Edge
see
is up.
See if that pushes them over the edge. As you said, Silver Edge at the ready now for TA2000. You saw the amount of damage they put on the Skidder, so they're not lacking damage to kill the Spectre. I think their issue is the Bristleback, and now with the Silver Edge, this definitely could be something that they want to try and get done. I really like how proactive Quest are. They hit that item timing, and now they're going. They're looking to try and find someone. They want to try and play towards their vision. And you can see that Skidder got found on that ward. He will TP away. He could get wrapped on, though. That's the real spooky part of this game. BKB up onto Amar. Malrine has his own BKB as well as the gem. Kaori, fortunately, is found out and killed. So they will not have a Nature's Prophet to play for in this fight for another 40 seconds. But
It happens
at
sometimes.
least the Shadow Step is down.
Yep. But Snaking's Observer Ward scouts out the exact position that Quest are playing around right now, so they know that they're hanging around this top area of the map. The thing is, they know Roshan has the potential of respawning in a minute, so they're probably going to start prepping a lot of their own vision to be able to play around that bottom side, but I'm sure they're very well aware that Malrine has a gem, so he suddenly becomes priority number 1. Vision around second Roche is so vital.
Yep. Very strong
smoke?
place to
No,
play
never
around.
mind. It's just a Silver Edge for TA. Malik? Omar's there on his own.
He was sitting there. I thought he was going to throw out some more of these spells, but Amar just walks in with the BKB. Beautiful Aghanim Scepter there from the Nature's Prophet. Just keeps everybody at bay. So Amar uses the BKB for naught. So no BKB on the Bristleback. Another smoke will
No
come
Stampede,
through
though, is a
here.
big deal.
That is true. They do have a Lincoln Sphere now onto Noob, though. Do they have a Shadow Step? They don't have Shadow Step for another 15 seconds. So if there's a fight to break out, it better break out now if you're Quest.
They've got the high ground.
They're going to go in. This is going to be a massive Echo Slam. They found everybody. Snaking's dead. The Enchantress goes down, instantly buys back. They want to come in for Malrine. The Echo Slam does a lot of damage, but it gets returned completely.
Damn,
but it's TA2000 who just tears through the members of Team Falcon, and that will be a triple kill for the Luna. And now they're looking for more here on the Snaking. The break goes in, and he is dead for a second time. And you can just see, as soon as that fight broke out, there was just like, I think there was like 5 seconds left on Shadow Step. But as soon as Shadow Step came off cooldown, everybody was already dead. Like, Malrine was already dead. So you could just see that Skidder hit the eject button, didn't want to have a bar of it.
Again, it feels like ever since Malik flicked that switch and said, you know what, I'm done with being passive. You know, 205, 20-odd minutes in, it's not enough.
Oh,
So
that was
close.
scary. Sorry,
So
that really freaked me out.
No,
Like
the Tormentor,
Noob.
it's a very scary thing, I understand.
I was like, Noob, you played so well, don't die to a Tormentor, no.
Yeah. But you just see, like, he went for that dive with his team inside of the Ancients camp, right? Where they were able to get the previous kill onto Skidder. That time around, just presence of mind to know that's where they're going to be looking to play. Around the Roche Pit, if they don't have control over this high ground, they're probably playing around the only other element of high ground that there is, which is around that Lotus Pool. Just makes that blind jump, gets the initial initiation, and then, it just chokes them up into this small spot where TA2000 is just able to go bananas. He's got a DD as well, man.
Oof. It's spicy time. He's starting to hit. They're starting to hit hard. There was a fight without Skidder, though, so we'll see what this fight is going to be like with the Spectre. They should be well aware that this is a fake. Maybe you should be aware that Spectre could be in the area. They're looking towards Roche, as you said.
Longest possible respawn, so they're going to be kicking Gaben that is the case for them.
Crit? He's charging bottom, so they know that the Spirit Breaker is around here. Malix is going to lose his smoke. They want to try and go forward. Oh, the Echo was just a little bit too early there from Noob. His finger's too fast, so they don't get the Echo Slam kill there onto the Spirit Breaker. They're going to try and go in onto Amar. Stampede buys enough space. Now with Malrain into the back, this Grimstroke is going to go down. TA2000 extremely low, wants to try and deal the damage. Amar's is going to stand there. DD Rune is not going to be enough. They're just shredding him apart.
He bought
and
back.
The Luna will go down. They're just going to buy back. They want to get these fights going. Noob, though, wants to get on top of some of these heroes. Doesn't have the damage. It's a double kill for the Bristleback.
Omar just
Team
bought back.
Falcons are just going in and they're tearing Quest apart. Now
Straight
in the Silver
back in
Edge,
onto the rim.
TA2000 goes back in on towards the Spectre. Disarm goes down though. There's no BKB. Double Stomp from Malik. It's a lot of damage and it's a lot of kills that they get as well. Double kill now for the Luna, but with the buyback coming in from Skinner is enough to keep them into this game. And as you said, that is a dieback on 3 of the heroes. And Noob needs to get the hell out of Dodge. Otherwise, this game is over.
Yeah, you have to wonder how much of that difference did come down to just that Echo Slam, right? He wasn't able to get it onto crit, meant that he was able to just continue the harass, another additional stun throughout all of that. Without a BKB and without a Satanic, you actually just can't stand a man fight against this Blade Mail that the Spectre has. It just felt like, even with the Aghanim Shard, TA2000 just did a lot of his own damage to himself.
Yeah, it's just kind of crazy now that I'm looking back at these items. There's no BKBs in the cause for the side of Quest, and speaking of the cause of Quest, Noob's been found out, and the Earthshaker will go down as well. Another dieback for the side of PSG Quest. They absolutely threw everything at the wall. Unfortunately for them, nothing stuck.
Radiant's bottom tower is under
I
attack.
mean, the BKB is what's queued up next for TA, but might be too little, too late. You're already having your high ground invaded, no buybacks available. Mid lane, now that's going to be going down pretty shortly too. Tier 2 tower just about to be susceptible to being destroyed. 35-minute time as well, so you've got that double siege creep wave. Everything is just coming up Falcons right now.
Yep, everything's looking real good for the Falcons to be able to even out this series. They have a 10k net worth lead. Aegis, Cheese, high ground is being sieged. Exactly. It's just so much going their way.
Radiant's bottom tower.
So many of these items. I do like this kind of change in the build coming in from Skidder, as you said, full Abyssal Blade. It's not something we usually see, but having that extra bit of lockdown for this team is also important. And one laner racks down, it's probably going to be 2 with the fact that Noob's not going to be up for almost another 40 seconds.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
I mean, it really feels like they're just so frustrated at the Stampede being used as this full-on get-out-of-jail-free card, right? If you use the Abyssal Blade, even if the Stampede is popped, one person is going to be isolated. So Malik has been playing so well so far this game, but even he, I don't think, can be able to find that key to unlock all of this for them. I mean, the double hoof stomp is the only reason that they were even able to get some sort of turnaround there. I thought TA2000 would just die back for absolutely nothing.
Radiant's top tower has
They
fallen.
have got the Flaming Lasso now onto the aforementioned Malik. He does at least get the Lotus Orb to go down there on the Skidder. He will stampede himself away, so a lot of that damage is now for naught. And it's very hard to
About
kill
20
Malik with the
debuffs
amount
on
of...
him.
Yeah, I was going to say, with the amount of armor that he has and the amount of HP that he has, all the debuffs in the world don't seem to matter.
He's got Hitcher right as well. Is he just going to be dragging TA2000 around these fights?
Maybe?
I mean, they
makes him
have AoE
untargetable.
damage though, right? Bristleback is still
Yeah.
going to kill you.
Same with Radiance.
SB is probably going to kill you. Radiance is going to kill you. Firefly's going to kill you.
Yeah, it doesn't seem the greatest, does it? Maybe it's just to trying to save Omar, right? Like, they go in, they initiate on Omar, he blinks in, Hitcher rides him, and he just says, "Come with me, buddy."
Sure, let's go with that.
That's the only thing that I can think of, because it's not like, you know, you're mitigating like things like a duel or anything like that. It is this kind of single target lockdown.
I mean, it does give you just a little bit of extra repositioning where you don't need to rely on the Stampede. You know, it gives you that... How many seconds of Stampede is it?
8 seconds.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty damn significant, isn't it?
Yeah. Workhorse. All work, no play. Centaur War Runner coming at you with another grind set.
Okay.
It's getting very late here in Australia, ladies and gentlemen. It's also getting very hot in the studio right now. So I'm starting to sweat bullets and melt the 3 brain cells I have remaining.
Oh, you got a third?
Yeah, I found one this morning.
Oh.
I plugged it in. It was the right chipset, so that was great. But I think it's a little old, from 2005. I think it was. There's a lot of Linkin Park songs in my brain right now.
Oh, I've been using the old Spotify on repeat. Linkin Park #1 for me.
I expect nothing different from you.
All right, that was
my
high
number
school
one.
years. Okay.
My number one is actually Machine Gun Kelly. That's my number one. That's my
Yeah.
dirty little secret. Yeah.
Yeah, just gets out before he gets caught out there by Crit.
Getting close to the
Smoke
BKB as
didn't
well.
actually pop there though, so he didn't know that he was generally around that sort of vicinity. Alright, well, so what's coming up next for Quest? Like, what is... I mean, it still feels like we're just waiting for a BKB for TA2000. And thankfully for Quest fans, he's only 200 gold away from being able to pick it up. Noob, yeah, the Octarine Core, probably not going to change too much of anything. The Hitcher Ride, about, what, 700 gold away? I mean, it feels like right now it's just somehow try and dodge out all of these gank attempts, wait out the Aegis, and get your next items. And honestly, the fact that they...
Oh, that was a beautifully executed gank going on to Noob there. He will Echo Slam to try and buy himself some space, so he actually will live.
Well...
They still have the charge coming forward. He gets the leap. Oh, that was some extra mechanics coming in there from Noob. That's a man that knows Earthshaker and Spirit Breaker interactions.
Just get the hell out of there. Stay away for as much as possible. Also just seeing, there's nothing really specifically targeted, right, that the Planar Pocket's going to be able to protect against. I think he's just using it for that self-magic resistance. Probably if there is any kind of Eclipse being popped, expect to see Crit use that Planar Pocket in that sort of situation.
Yeah, I guess it'll only be like Sprout, Phantom's Embrace.
Yeah.
And that's like kind of it.
Double Edge, I guess.
Double Edge, yeah. Oh.
Alex,
Could be a fight here on the higher ground.
they've got the
Mars
Watcher.
is going to walk
Oh,
in. They've
he's
got the
caught.
Silver Edge break, the damage, and he's dead. 100 seconds on the sideline, no Bristleback.
Stampede,
He's got no
they got
buyback for
more.
2,000 gold. Snaking, he's the next one. That was a nice little boot back there by the Flame Break. It is enough space for them to be able to get away here from the side of Quest, but they leave Snaking behind. Amar, he felt strong, he felt good, and he just got clapped back.
He did. I mean, it's kind of understandable, right? They had the Watcher, they had the high ground vision, they knew that they were in the general vicinity, and he thought that his team was behind him, but he just kind of got left on an island. It was a really nice stun coming out from Noob just to ensure that, you know, Silver Edge or not, he was just facing them during all of it.
Yeah, it was just so much damage, and he just got eviscerated. There's nothing he could even do. He couldn't pop the BKB, couldn't pop the Wind
All
Waker.
these treants as well, protecting the siege creeps.
Yeah, they're going to get a lane of Axe here. There's no Bristleback.
Oh,
It's a lot of damage. How much do they want to stand here and fight, though? That's the real question. They're going to use the Glyph. TA2000 has the BKB, but it's about keeping him healthy. There's a lot of damage that comes in there from snaking, so that buyback has been useful so far. So they won't lose the full lane. They'll lose a lot of HP to it, but they're not going to lose the lane of racks.
and they don't have Glyph. You know, if somehow the next, let's say 3-4 minutes goes incredibly well for Quest, then, you know, what happens with Aluna if she's able to get up inside the base? Still has the full duration BKB, almost has the level 25, and about 1350 away from a Satanic as well. So couldn't stand a man fight previously, but I get the feeling that that's just about to change.
Yep, Satanic BKB, they are the two items that you need to just stand and deliver. We're also getting a lot of items on, you know, Kaori. We're getting to a point now that Malik has literally everything. He's got 6.1k gold. I think he's really thinking about this Hitcher Ride as it's probably not going to be the answer. I would love the Shivas. I think that's something that would really be able to alleviate a whole lot of this pressure and just kind of put them in a much better spot, meaning that, you know, the Spectre doesn't have all this auto attack damage. He doesn't have all that attack speed. You get that extra bit of HP regen removal.
It was a quick Roche respawn as well, and Kaori knows it's on the Radiant side, so you want to try and make the most of this little timing, but I mean, that's the downside of being down these super creeps, right? It means that you've constantly got creeps pushing into your base. Satanic, I believe, is just now finished up from TA2000 as well, but he wants his level 25 before the fight happens if he can afford it.
Maybe with this whole creep wave, he should be close. Oh, no, he's still a ways away. How far is he off? Like 300 experience? Yeah, sub 300 experience. 227 experience.
Yes, that's satanic. They're huddling around the vision. They know that they probably have an estimate that the Roche is going on. Oop, oh, everything's popping. They gotta get out. Oh, Malik went in, one went out.
Ooh. Everyone's getting spicy. Crit is top. Same with Skidder. Skidder can join the fight instantaneously. Crit, though, has to charge through everybody. It's where they want to be. They want to be on the other side of the map. They want to try and make sure that they are not getting directly quilled in from Amar. They're going to try and go in. Malik wants to go up onto the high ground. Oh, that's a beautiful Yule Scepter. Now Amar's going to come in. They want to try and get away from this Bristleback. He's got that BKB. Stampede's being used. Good disengage here from Quest. They want to have this fight on their own kind of terms now. Malreen comes in. Skidder to the backside. He's going to take down Omar. Omar's going to have no way back into this fight. He will have the buyback, though, as TA3000 getting completely kited around. And now with Crit coming in for the charge. Wants to try and take down Malreen, but it's another one of these flaming lassos. TA3000 standing and fighting. How much damage does he have? It's a lot. Takes down Crit. So they will not have Malreen for 90 seconds here, and the buyback comes in from Noob as well. The Earthshaker wants to get these fisticuffs going. And they've got 5 remaining left here for Quest as well.
Ended up going for the Lunar Blessing damage, so his right clicks are really starting to rack up. 10 seconds to be able to take this Roche, and will they be able to do it? Maybe they'll start to time some of the stuns just towards the very end there, so they get him before he starts walking top.
Oh yeah, this is definitely done in time.
Just enough.
They get the Ag's Blessing now on the Luna, so the Eclipse has been able to throw on probably Malik at this point. I mean, you can just throw it in an area as well.
Blessing damage though, right? Not the Eclipse mini stun. So it's understandable. They've got 4 BKBs on Falcons, so it might just be a completely useless level 25 talent. May as well just go something that A, helps your farm, B, helps your push, and C, makes that right click even more impactful with the Satanic, of course, lifesteal coming through.
TA2000, the cojones on this, man. It's Divine Rapier time. He's got it in the quick fight. There is the full hitcher ride being completed as well here from Malik. They want to go forward. Goes in with the Who Stop. Look at the damage that they're doing here. Got about half HP nice, onto Snaking. As you said, it's a full buyback now from Crit. They need to be careful to have the Aegis of the Immortal as well as the cheese to be able to play around with, but
I think
make sure that they don't give it up.
Not wanting to go up onto that high ground, not against a Bat Rider.
Especially because he has 2 Flaming Lassos, right? It's going to be very scary if you put yourself in a bad position, especially for TA2000, who doesn't have the Aegis of the Immortal. So, this game, oh, Matt, every game that has this kind of teetering back and forth where teams are playing insane in a lot of these team fights really gets me up in the morning, you know, for Dota 2. And it's starting to feel like one of those games where it basically can mean one team fight, one small little slip up, one player not having buyback can mean a win or a loss. Who's gonna
even just giving Omar the cheese just to give him a little bit of extra survivability. He's got the ninja gear to be able to, you know, at least have that initial positioning, make sure he's not the target of a lot of these Spirit Breaker charges.
TA2000, they're gonna walk in, take that tier 3 tower.
But they're only willing to reveal for a split second, right? Not wanting to leave them susceptible to that drag back from the Bat Rider. Any Lincolns on Quest side? Just the one. No, they've got 2 actually. Cowrie's been able to pick one up as well.
They understand that the Flaming Lasso can be an issue. They also have a Lotus Orb as well, which can be, you know, kind of like the pseudo Lincolns, right, where it just gets reflected back onto the Bat Rider. So they have ways of mitigating some of this damage. They want to try and play around a lot of their vision. Do Team Falcon playing on these high grounds, but they're not going to give it up that easily. Quest. They have to go back and deal with their creep waves though. They don't have all the free time in the world across the river. Visitation rights have been revoked for now across the river for Radiant Zone.
Look at this annoying little rat style. They forced to TP a few people back, but yeah, well, there was backdoor protection kicked in anyway, so they weren't going to be able to do all that much.
That's where things start to get a little spicy, right? With the backdoor from the Nature's Prophet.
4.8k HP on the Sentinel Roll Runner, going for the overwhelming blink as well. It's pretty nice.
River Enjoyer stat enjoyer. Anything that has strength written on it, Malik will
Enjoy.
buy it. Yep, strength enjoyer.
Enjoying.
He's gonna have so much HP when he double edges people, right? Like he's
Oh,
gonna double edge, especially if he gets like a double edge with the soul bind.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oof, big juicy boy. He's gonna be thick.
They'd love to be able to get the level 20 up for Omar as well. Get him onto his level 20, get that extra 3 hits to kill the Phantom. Means that, you know, the Bristleback might be able to get one use of the Bristleback itself off. But you know, once that BKB's been used, he's probably not going to have the freedom to just freely cast it straight away after.
Yeah, just mitigating him for a little bit. Tier 2000 being a sneaky little boy with the smoke and the glaives, the moon glaives, being able to kill a whole crew without revealing himself.
Going the Aghanim Scepter as well on Skidder. So wanting to have that haunt at his disposal. They tried to get a little bit cheeky with some of these movements of the Lunar Illusions to keep the mid lane pushed in. Again, it's super creeps that they're having to come up against. I'm honestly a little surprised that Skidder hasn't made his team have a priority and taken the Tormentor, or B, just bought the Shard for himself. It's really good these days on the Spectre. Just extra 100% reflection on that dispersion. Just time that together with when the Eclipse is used or when TA2000 is just right-clicking like a beast.
Oh, this is spicy.
They maybe get away. Oh, Lotus is on him. Ends up bouncing him away. It's just as the Aegis gets reclaimed as well.
I was going to say that could have been some hashtag timing right there. If they catch them as they're doing the Tormentor and the Aegis is being reclaimed, that could have been some dire straits for Quest, but they don't hit the timing just yet. 2 Falcons, and this game is slowing down to a crawl. Both teams understand
they know Skidder's here. They're all moving towards Skidder. He only reveals for a split second on the lane. But this ward placed up on the high ground when they were previously making that big push down the mid lane is still giving a lot of information with where exactly the Falcons carry is looking to play. He's once again underneath the vision. And there's 3 heroes under a smoke as well, of course. NP can join in at any time.
Yeah, they're going on the aggressive here. They find out Skidder, this would be massive. They don't get the vision of him. If you catch out the Spectre, then you don't have to worry about this Shadow Step. You don't have to worry about this Ag's Haunt. So, both teams just ships in the night, walking away from each other, not really being able to deal with it. I think they are just kind of waiting for this Ag Scepter. Means that Skidder can, even though that Omar's is going to be able to hide away with you know, the Smoke of Deceit, means that with the Ag's Haunt, Skidder will be able to get onto him no matter what.
And he has gone and bought out for that Aghanim, so it means that he doesn't have buyback for the next 260 gold. Still no Aghanim Shard as well for Skidder. Maybe just the lane pushing in on the bottom side, dissuading them from doing it. Also, they should know, though, that they've got 1.5 minutes until there's a potential Roche respawn, right? So you've got time to be able to open up the map. You've got time to be able to take this and make your Spectre just so much more strong.
Yeah, just giving yourself that 100% damage reflection.
Cowrie.
Ooh, he gets away. That was the actual Haunt. That's 180 second cooldown.
Yep. Better to use it now, I suppose, than when Roche is up.
Oh, he bought the Ag's Blessing.
Yep.
So we went the whole 9 yards for it. I thought that maybe it might be time for Blade Mail to go bye-bye. But...
Or just boots.
Yeah. But...
You're able to just instantly get on top of people in 2 different ways, why not?
Yeah.
And they finally do end up taking, and it goes to Malrine, of course it does.
You're talking about this Shard going onto the Spectre, and it's almost destined to go somewhere else.
The March of the Treants, down top lane, down mid lane, just trying to be as annoying as possible. More Treants being summoned, pretty rarely that people do that at the level 15 mark. Just considering how much more damage that you get provided, and armor, from going the +4 teleportation stacks.
Kind of understanding his role, I think, is Kaori, right? Just being like, I need to be the nuisance. I need to be the guy who makes some space, and that's what he's going to do. He's going to make space with his boys. Come back to ultimate.
Medium duration Roche respawn timer as well, so should be spawning probably on the top side. Slight favor to Falcons, with that being the case. Actually going to be maybe a bit of a pincer move happening here. It depends if people are going to show on the lane. I think they might have seen a Quill Spray.
We definitely would have seen one now.
And they'll see the courier for sure, so both teams know where they're positioning. And it's going to rely on, do they have TPs? Everyone has TP on Quest, and they're going to need to use it to get back to the base.
I was going to say, you just start pushing inside of the base now, right? And it's all about the question that you start to pose towards Quest is, we're going to start hitting your base, what's the answer for you? And they will just have to TP back. They're going to be able to deal with these creep waves as well, so they have been able to at least pull Quest back inside of the base for now, but this game's slowing down to an absolute crawl here.
So full refresher on TA2000 as well, so double Eclipse, double BKB, double Satanic.
Oh, Echo Slam, I heard it. He goes out directly onto Malrine. He gets oh so low. Do they have the extra damage? The Soulbind goes down. It's the Illusions. The Illusions. Do they have the damage? The right clicks. It's there in time. They take down the Batrider. Kaori with the vision to be able to get that Lucent Beam down as well from TA2000, and the right clicks gets it done from the man in the trees.
He's got the Silver Edge as well, so they're almost close to having a third Silver Edge on the team. With Earthshaker just wanting to make sure he's saving for that buyback, realizing how vital this Roshan attempt is going to be. Malik once again being the one on the front line. TA as well.
They have to be careful. They don't want to try and overcommit here onto Snaking. They are going to try and buy out some of this buyback. They are still keeping an eye on Roshan, who has just respawned. Haunt goes in. Now they want to get directly into the background. They don't have this Echo Slam. Skidder goes directly in onto the Grimstrike. He has the cheese, doesn't get it done. Has the full buyback as well. TA2000, he's getting caught out. But look at the damage now with the Eclipse. It's a double lasso. It goes in onto TA2000. He has to refresh it. The Satanic turns back around. BKB double time. And he's doing so much damage back now with the Luna. TA2000 is standing tall with the Eclipse as well. And Team Falcon, they just don't have the HP to stand in front of this Luna at the late game stage of 55 minutes. And they will not be able to stand in front of her again with Noob just doing all the work at the fissure. He's going to hitch a ride. He's going to bring Crit down back into the fountain, and TA2000 is still oh so low. A lot of these buybacks are going to make these fights a bit spicy. They still have buyback for TA2000 as well as Malik as well. They're going to look to try and kill him off. He goes down. He just gets deleted by the Silver Edge. And once again, Snaking and the boys are trying to keep this fight rolling. The fish is not enough to keep Kaori alive. So both of the supports by Quest are dead without any buyback, and everybody from the side of Falcons have fought into this fight.
He's got Workhorse for himself.
Will eventually go down, but he has the buyback here, Daredog. That's the special thing, is he has buyback, but neither do the supports on Quest.
He's going to actually buy back entirely. You know, he's got that, he's bought out, he's got the BKB for himself, bought the Aghanim's Blessing. They need to just to be able to keep these lanes pushed out, though. You know, eventually 2 diebacks going the way of Quest, and that means that Falcons, they're going to have this 4th Roshan going in their favor. Another use of the Refresher Shard going to be incredibly impactful. You would have to say it, probably giving that one over to Skidder. Yeah, absolutely. Just to be able to use Haunt twice in a single team fight, wait for those... Well, he's actually already popped it. He wants the Haunt immediately.
Yeah, wants to try and fight. So they're going to use the Shadow Step here to get back into base. So Skidder wants to try and close this game out with 60 seconds left available. He sold the Refresher Orb, did TA2000. He has a Rapier. This is all or nothing at 56 minutes into the game. You've got 1 lane of racks left available. What can you do with all calls available for Quest?
I kind of feel like you give it up. You know, like, you have a lineup that's capable, if you win a team fight, if the enemy team doesn't have buybacks, that you can just run it down and end the game, mega creeps or not. So you give this one up, you put the faith in your team to be able to win a team fight off the back of a Divine Rapier, and wait for someone to make a misstep.
The only person in the game with buyback that is not on cooldown is TA2000. Everybody else used it in that previous fight. There was 9 buybacks used. TA2000 lived through it all. Now has the Divine Rapier and still buyback.
Now, I'm not sure if our lovely observer has it, but I do have Dota Plus. Have a guess at what the win probability is.
I was just going to press the 65% for Team Falcon.
82, surprisingly. But I honestly agree a little bit more with your guess of 65. Yes, they've got mega creeps. Yes, they're favored. Yes, they've got Aegis and late game Bristleback and everything else. But man, Divine Rapier with no buybacks and a Luna that is just able to just push down those lanes is a scary, scary thing.
Yeah, I think that's the thing
they
for
have
me,
any
right?
vision,
Is there no buybacks? Yeah, they just don't have good ways of getting any of their vision down, and the fact there is no buybacks for Team Falcon, it's a little spooky.
And somehow
He could be going
Snaking's
all the way.
Observer Ward inside the base has been able to survive up until now. Omar just de-warding it at this point.
Well, it's felt like for the better part of, maybe like 10, 15 minutes, the Quest haven't actually been inside of their base. They've only really been inside of their base to respond to creep waves, and been doing a good job at being proactive across the map.
I mean, again, it could just be another one of these situations where, yeah, you can afford to just, be Quest, play Quest gaming and push the game out to 100 minutes, or they could just wait out this Aegis that's got 2 minutes 40 left on it. You've probably got about a minute and a half where there's not going to be any buybacks available, and use that time to be able to make a push happen.
Yeah, there is definitely going to be a pretty big window where Aegis is going to be down and there's going to be no buybacks, so Quest, they can hold their ground. They can get a second Rapier on TA 2000, because that's what he's queued up. And if he has buyback and a backup Rapier, like, who getting a Rapier on Team Falcon really matters? Like, nobody, right? Except maybe the Enchantress, I think, would be the only person who'd be like, okay, now Snaking has a Rapier, then things look pretty dire. But outside of that, dropping the Rapier is probably not going to be too bad for TA 2000, as long as he has something to kind of replace that spot, which I think that he does. No, he doesn't have anything left available. I thought he had, like, maybe his boots on his career or something, but...
Nah. It's just purely a backup.
So...
Oof. I mean, this is what we were expecting, right? Best of 5, grand finals, 2 clear best teams in the region. For now, we don't know what Nigma have to give us, but, well, we will have to see how this one closes out in the, we're almost at tier 5 items as well, man.
Yeah. I was going to say, we're getting close to 60 minutes, so tier 5 items. Are there any that are going to break the game? Mirror Shield, I think, would be kind of game-breaking for Quest. Giant's Ring's going to be pretty strong for Malik.
For sure.
Ex Machina.
Like he needed more strength.
Yeah. Ex Machina, maybe like an Apex. Fallen Sky's really good. Force Boots. I guess they're all kind of good. What about Arcanus Armor? How do you feel about Arcanus Armor? Is it good?
I think it is. I think you gotta not pop it at the very start of a lot of these team fights, right? And very few games get to 60 plus minutes, so a lot of people just forget that they have a neutral item like the Arcanist's Armor,
Yeah.
So, something like that, just be able to reflect a lot of this uncontrollable damage like Luna does, for example, could be a really big deal.
Yeah, so still have a little bit of time until we have these tier 5 items available. I really wish that there was some like UI thing that showed you the options that they had.
Yeah.
And what they chose, because I think that would be very... I don't want to say like...
Maybe that's coming in the patch.
Maybe. For tiers like 1 to 4, I think that's like kind of like irrelevant. But like for tier 5 at least, I think that definitely should be like, these were the options and this is what they chose. Maybe even like tier 4, I think would be pretty cool to look at. But all the other ones are like, I feel like they're very straightforward. Like tier 1 neutral items, most heroes are going to get the same tier 1 item every single time. Same with like tier 2s and tier 3s. So it's not really much variety.
Man, Snaking's nearly level 25 as well, and he'll have plus 6.5% impetus damage. Pretty significant, too.
Oof. 26.5% distance damage. And if he gets the Rapier, that's big damage.
Okay, we found the target that we want to get the Rapier.
We just want to see him lob an impetus from 95% of the map. See if you can
I kind of want to see someone get a nullifier on Quest as well. Like, no one really has the slots or the money to be able to do it, but it's really important against this double Wind Waker. Like, it's becoming a significant deal. Even just crit, right? Like, his BKB's down to 6 seconds. He doesn't have an Aghanim Scepter, so he's not going to have that piercing debuff immunity aspect of his charge. Malik has to be a little careful, though. Remember,
going in on towards the Centaur, but they at least will pop out the Stampede.
him.
They come in,
Refresh.
they do at least get one catch, they get the second refresh, they're going to get the kill
They
here
got
on the
him.
Centaur. There is no Centaur for 125 seconds. That's probably the game, it seems. Oh, that's
Divine
rough.
Rapier
Malik's
is
had
the
such
great
a good
equalizer, you
game.
never know.
That is true.
And I wonder if they're going to realize this and just wait out. Yeah, Crit's making stacks, making sure that those Ancients that are more likely to be able to give those tier 5 items are built up before they go for that game-ending push, and a double damage on the top side of the river as well. Are they going to be lucky? There's the one. What is Skidder going to choose here?
They also got one on Amar. Echo Slab
Mega
goes
jump.
in directly onto Amar. How much damage do they have?
One
They've
die
got
back.
more than enough. Look at the damage that TA2000 does. BKBs and Divine Rapiers are galore. And now Skidder's going to go in towards the backline, but Quest, they're just going to try and dip out of here. They don't want to try and have these fights going
Gotta
all
protect
too
their
bad.
base.
Giants Ring for the Spectre has been choice number 1. Amar, he's dead, so he's probably going to, or should, give his tier 5 item to somebody who can actually utilize it.
There's 5 anyway, it's fine.
Oh, I really like what TA2000's just done. You buy a Hand of Midas, you go and secure a tier 5 item.
And you sell it.
Yep, and then you sell it. So you Midas it. Ooh, okay, what's he gonna get? Oh, Mirror Shield. Okay.
Pretty decent, honestly.
Yep.
Prevents the, well, reflects the haunt back, reflects the lasso, reflects the charge. Although, could that be used against you with the charge, right? Just make him move super out of position.
That's true. You do have control over it. You can, like, stop moving.
Yeah, sure. But, like, all it takes is a second or two.
Yeah, of you just not paying attention, right? And, you know, the Luna's just going...
Yeah, pretty much. Just
Okay.
autopilot.
Oh.
I mean, cruise control.
Snaking did it. You got the Arcanist armor.
Let's go.
Alright. See how much damage it does towards the end of the game.
20% magic resist aura is pretty damn good, too.
Yeah. Very, very strong. Skidder will get the Giant's Ring. We're going to have the Seer
Second mirror
Stone
shield.
on Malrin. We're going to have the Arcanist Armor and another Giant's Ring for Krital.
Come on, just give me the Giant's Ring. Come on, Malik. Give me the big centaur.
Surely he goes for it, right?
Come on. The only reason he's taking so long to choose is that it's not an option.
Come on, buddy. You can do it, Malik.
This is where those full discussions end up going on. Still, 3 people still yet to make a choice with what exactly they go for. Come on, just choose.
Please, please, God. Remove me from my sorrow.
Well, with all this indecision, we're basically going to have everyone with their buybacks back up pretty shortly, with the exception of Malik, considering that he's, what, 1,200 gold away from his, so that might be the only limiting factor.
He's also Malrin, who's about 300 gold away from his, but that's basically a bounty rune.
There we go. Ex Machina. He chooses for himself.
So he
another
wants double
Another
BKB.
Blink, another Lotus. Phase Boots? I don't know.
Maybe he didn't get Giant's Ring. See, this is where the UI element would be very important.
Double Book of Shadows as well, so whoever gets gone on to just put him into the Shadow Realm.
Yep. Would have been nice to see Kaori go back to the Rat Dota of past and be able to get a Book of the Dead. I would have loved to have seen that. He just like TPs in towards a range tracks like every so often, drops a Book of the Dead, gets out of there.
I'm sorry, when I said Shadow Realm, I just keep thinking of that picture of Ralph that you always send me.
That's my favorite reaction meme to anything.
Oh, Yu-Gi-Oh fans will know.
Well, we've cracked over the hour-long mark here, and nobody
Which
is...
means our sanity is also cracked at this
Well-
point. Going into the Arcane Blink, actually, on the Centaur, so they're still lacking a little bit of that regen reduction coming through. Honestly, at this stage, I feel like you kind of need to 100 to 0 the likes of Amar, right? You can't take a longer team fight. It's gotten late enough that enough people have built up win because there's no nullifier to be able to deal with them yet on Quest. So, like, what do you even do against this? Do you just rely on TA2000 to get the perfect team fight, to land the perfect Aghanim Scepter Eclipse onto people?
Maybe.
Maybe it's even just waiting for level 30 for the Luna as well, right? Get your level 30, get that little bit of mini stuns coming through. Do they have any Ex Machinas on Falcons? I don't think they do, right? So
No, they
you'll have
don't,
Book of
no.
Shadows to be able to protect people from the Eclipse, but Certainly not something like the Ex Machina to pop a second BKB, for example.
Yeah.
And
They do have a
Skidder-
refresher on Malrin, though, so he will have 2 BKBs.
Skitter on this Giant Spectre just reminds me of Ag's Labyrinth. One of the minigames from there.
Bring it back. Come on, Valve.
I hope so.
Yeah, that was a goated game mode. I've been hearing good things of the Warcraft game mode. That somebody has made recently. Might have to give it a crack.
Is it Grubby approved?
I remember watching a clip of Grubby dying to the bots. So I don't know what that says about the bots or what that says about Grubby after playing, you know,
Washed
a couple thousand hours of
trash.
of Dota. It is very funny because I do watch him play Warcraft 3, and he still is a beast. But Dota slowed him down. I will say that. No, it's definitely the league. We can blame it on his League of Legends. That's what's
True. Yeah.
So, 25 on Grimstrokes coming up. What do you go for? Inkball radius? Probably right. 150 on that. Feels good.
Sure. I mean, I think if you haven't gone the Stroke of Fate cast range, you basically doubled down on just being a continuous support.
Yeah.
The time for scaling is Ogre. I mean, I really wouldn't hate to see the old Dark Portrait. I mean, having Radiance... Yeah? No, he actually doesn't have Radiance anymore on the Spectre, so scratch that. It would be a horrible choice.
Don't get it.
Sells the Blade Mail as well.
So he's got full Butterfly coming out now on Skidder. So Rapier doesn't give True Strike any mole.
No mo?
No mo. No mo.
So they took that away. That was the Rapier patch, though, which I think was a cool kind of patch.
It was exciting, if nothing else.
Yeah, it was very exciting. It was like 25 minutes, and you just have someone buy a Rapier, and you're like, what the fuck is going on? You're like, why is my carry buying a Rapier third item?
Don't worry, bro, they got a PA, it's fine. I'll kill him.
And then he gets one shot anyways, and you're like, what's going on?
Looks like all both teams were doing was waiting for every single person to have that buyback available, and well, the last person was TA2000. He's got it available for himself now. And of course, Mega Creeps means that creeps are just all pushing into the base. The ones to make the first move looks like they are going to be Falcons. I'm hearing a Firefly come through.
It was Malrin on the side. Looking to see if he can catch out some of these members. They go in. Malik goes into the backside. They do have the Haunt out. They go directly on top of Omar. Does have the buyback, though. Now they're going to come in with the first bit of the Eclipse. Look at the damage that he's doing here on TA2000. They want to try and take down Skidder. They don't get the damage. They don't get the first life on the Aegis of the Immortal Malik.
They just
getting caught out once again. It's another Flaming Lasso, and he will go down as well. Another one of these buybacks is going to have to be used. And as you said, they already got the first Aegis of the Immortal. The first life goes down. TA2000 goes back inside of the base. He wants to try and win this fight.
They soak up everything.
No. You hate to see it when it comes to the second Eclipse. So it's not the damage that you would like. They got, what, 2 buybacks out of that. That is an absolute success if you are Team Falcon.
All it cost you is the Aegis. You're able to get a full retreat off, and well, the name of the game is now pretty simple. Just rinse, reset, wait for your big ultimates, and honestly, most of them are back available with the exception of that Spectre Haunt.
Yep. That's all they've got to wait for, right? It's as you said, just reset, go again. What are they really going to be able to do about it? You know, Malik, there's no save for him. Grimstroke does have the Aghanim Shard, but using the Ink Spell offensively means they don't have that strong dispel to be able to get him out of that Flaming Lasso.
So now the win probability is basically the same as what it used to be, but I'm a little bit more now leaning towards the Falcons side, right? Like, I was saying it was probably like a 65% chance to win. Now it's 81, and I would probably say it's like, actually 95 around this point. You know, just having the lack of 2 buybacks, having the ability to just wait out all of your abilities, and the fact that there is Mega Creeps means that, I mean, the way to answer this sort of thing is to be able to get aggressive, right, while they're waiting for their big spells to be able to come off cooldown, but you just can't do that. Mega Creeps means that you're always on the back foot, you're always having to do something to be able to defend, and you know, it just feels like it's going to be a little bit too much.
Yeah, it is very defeating when you know, a fight like this happens and it's ultra late game and you have to use a buyback, right? Because you know that this next fight you're not going to have it, and you have to play a different kind of way. You have to be a little bit more conservative, and somebody like Malik, who likes to be jumping in and getting these fights done, if he gets caught out once again, there's not really much they're going to be able to turn back around. But I mean, maybe without the Aegis, Skitter isn't going to be such a nuisance in these fights, because you can just see how much damage the TA2000 does, right? Like, he just kind of walks in and absolutely eviscerates them with the Divine Rapier. Is it time for him to just say, screw my buyback, and just get... I mean, kind of need to keep everything. I was going to say, is it like time for just saying, screw the buyback, I need a second Rapier?
Yeah, I think the buyback is still pretty important. I think you got to make sure that you're waiting for it. I mean, I'm a little surprised that Kaori's been able to keep this Observer Ward up on the top side up until now. You know, he made a global TP up there, placed it down, Amar was farming relatively close by with the gem, and he basically checked every single high ground spot except for that one. So they've got a little bit of vision available. Maybe if someone else just goes too far away from the rest of the team. I mean, everyone has a Boots of Travel, though, or a Charge, or, you know, Haunt slash Shadow Step, so it's not like they can even look to isolate anyone in that way.
It's going to be very hard for them to isolate any of these members. So now up to higher ground they go. Team Falcon, they go in the back. Oh no, they've got the Batrider and the Puritan inside of the base. The Aeon Disc, it's big though. To be able to save out Malrim for now. They will get the Book of Shadows to be able to keep him untargetable outside of the game for now. They have to be careful of their tier 4s. They're going to go forward. The first Eclipse goes down.
They soak everything.
The A2000 has this refresher orb to be able to utilize. He wants to pop his BKB. He wants to try and utilize the maximum amount of this refresher orb, but they just eviscerate the Nature's Prophet. He goes down, and they use the BKB, and they will just dip out once again here from Team Falcon. They have a refresher orb.
Still available. Yeah, they're going to need to protect this tower. Tier 4 is just about to go down. Not quite, though.
14 life. That's going to go down in the next set of engagements. They're getting close to having some of these buybacks back again. So maybe they might be able to hold off for Omar to have his back. But you can just see how quickly they kill these heroes. And all it takes is for Team Falcon to kind of hit that button.
You can tell that Melreen had a bit of an oh shit moment there, though. Getting the lasso onto one of those targets with the mirror shield is a big no-go sort of situation. So needs to make sure that he's basically using it onto Grim, Nature's Prophet, or the Centaur.
Yeah. If you didn't have that Aeon Disc, and you know, maybe if you got pulled all the way into the fountain, we could have seen Malrin being one of the guys who had to buy back into this fight, but holds on to it. Is now level 30 as well. How close are we to all? So almost everybody for the side of Team Falcon is level 30. All three of the cores are level 30. Crit's getting close to his. No level 30s for the side of Quest, though. Omar's still hoping and praying that he at least gets to level 25 this game.
It's just so frustrating having, like, these constant creeps that are always going to be a factor. Like, even if you had one lane of super creeps, right? You know, the Tormentor nearly ended up killing them. Yeah, it's not worth it at this stage.
No, it's not. It's a little bit of gold. Maybe they just wanted to try and farm towards that buyback, but that was... Oh, that was spooky.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, boy. With the rapier, I think that's what was the scary part.
Yep.
Rapier crits.
Another charge attempted there into the mirror shield.
Let's see if we could pull Noob out, but isn't able to get him outside of the base for now. Who's going to go back and farm? He's going to build his own refresher orb. Again, they're just walking up onto the guys of smoke.
I mean, they give him the Lincoln's block though. Doesn't have anything else to be able to cast in onto them. It's the Shaker. I'm sure he's pinging it again, saying, I can't jump him. I will die.
Yep. There's nowhere to go forward. Now the Mirror Shield. They're going to pop it out. Aeon Disc now goes in onto Marlon. They have it onto the Luna. Can they lock her down? But it's a massive Echo Slam. There's all 5 heroes stuck inside of that. TA2000, he's dead. He's got the Refresher. He has the Satanic. He doesn't have the life, though. The Rapier's on the ground. They've done enough damage for Team Falcon to be able to take down one. It is Malik that's able to get the kill. And with the Rapier on the ground, they will be able to claim it back once again here for TA2000. But they have no Centaur for 110 seconds, Matt.
Man, how much damage did that Echo actually do? Like, it felt like it was one of the biggest ones that we've seen the entire game, but
Yeah.
looking back at the fight recap, it's barely tickling. Like, 2,000 damage is, you know, it's a lot, but in the grand scheme of things in a 75-minute game, not so much.
Yeah, maybe it was
They
a lot of
found
big
him
hits.
again.
Oh, beautiful
This might
lasso
be it.
directly on a TA2000. This looks like it
The
could be
Satanic.
it. The Satanic, he's turning back around with the rapiers as well. He gets flicked over to the other side of this fissure. TA2000 wants to try and stand and hold his ground with his rapier and the butterfly. It's not going to be enough. Snake King goes into the air and they take down the pesky Luna. Finally, at 75 minutes, you see the cores go down. They almost get it done here off Newbie. Wants to try and take down Malik. He does have his own buyback, though. The Earthshaker out into the sidelines isn't going to be enough, and Quest will call it quits. 75 minutes into this game here, Danog. That was an absolute marathon in this game number 2 of this full best of 5, and we are going to be going all the way to 4 minimum. And it's going to be a very, very long series, no matter which way that you